one and all to the future of news. Bitcoin is here now when the dollar is through. Start stacking those sats and make it habitual. We all deserve to be sovereign individuals. Time to hear from Sean and get our fix of the day. Get on the standard now because
this is the way.
We were meant for this moment since the day we were born. Now sit back and enjoy. It's good day, Bitcoin.
Good morning. Bitcoin is back up on the day, sniffing out the possibility of the orange man getting back into the White House. Yes, this is Groundhog Day. We are going live on YouTube. The video did not push to YouTube, only to X. Huge day. JP Morgan is warning the election may be contested and it could take up to 2 weeks for the results to come through. Whatever way the results go, the next 4 years, they are going to get very, very interesting. We have Matt Hogan calling for higher prices regardless of the outcome, which I guess that's good news, yeah? However, short term, one candidate may dump the market. Another is more likely to send the prices higher. Flipping gears, Joe Rogan, he's come out in support of Trump. It's an interesting day, that's for sure. Let us know where you are tuning in from. I'm coming to you live from the tail end of the Great Barrier Reef, Australia. Diving into Eric Balashunas here. Bitcoin had just spiked 4% in a heartbeat. This is one of the things I'm watching today for market reaction to the election. We're going to dive into the price a little bit, but it's pumped a lot in the last 24 hours from its lows of 66,000. Regardless of who wins, you know, there's a life at stake here. American hodl can't stop thinking about Ross right now. Pacing the cells, stuck between audacious hope and crushing despair. Getting pieces of info over the phone, not knowing what's going on the outside. Dreaming about being free. Having a family, a life. Speaking at conferences, traveling the world. Enjoying the little things, a cheeseburger, a sunset, a warm bed. Still so young, so many more years to go if Trump doesn't win. What must it be like for him today? I can't imagine. He will be in turmoil, would be my belief. That's absolutely insane. We've got Jeff Park, this totally flipping gears, you know, thoughts with Ross today. That was the last time we'll see Bitcoin below $70,000 again. So it's 69,267. What Jeff is getting at here in this post is on the election day, judging by history, it doesn't always repeat, often it rhymes. Whatever the price is on election day, we haven't revisited that after the market comes back down. We've never retested that number. We'll continue to watch, but at the moment, Jeff, you got wrong pretty quick. Bitcoin, and that's what really matters. It goes up after the elections. It doesn't matter who gets in 1 month, 3 month, 12 month, all super bullish. The 3 month was actually an all-time high peak last time. 2012, bang. 2016, 20% increases. Look at that. Oh, it's like 1,700%. Habib, Earthbum, VT in the house. Good to see you this morning. Let us know if you've casted your vote if you are over in the States. And it's voting totally closed now. Like, that's the end of it. Now they just need to count the ballots and do what they want to do. You know, I don't know if this is signal or not. Jim Cramer, every time he goes against Bitcoin seems to pump. Trump win confirmed. Jim Cramer says the markets predict a Harris win. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. Bitcoin's price is definitely reacting more favorably. But Matt Hogan's take on the election tomorrow. Crypto's already won. Give it a read. Link below. TLDR. My cheat sheet, if you've missed my previous commentary, is as follows. Short term, a Trump victory is better than a Harris victory. Long term, Bitcoin, shitcoins, and stablecoins will thrive regardless of who wins. And shitcoins will have more regulatory risk in a Harris regime than a Trump regime. Not so sure about that one. If Trump is serious about Bitcoin and adding a strategic reserve asset, there is less control over altcoins. I'm not sure. He may come down and crack a little bit harder. That's just my thoughts, but we'll see. Under Trump, he is talking about a Bitcoin strategic reserve, which whatever party adopts that, whatever major nation state adopts Bitcoin as strategic reserve asset, like El Salvador did. They're almost free of the control from the International Monetary Fund. A Bitcoin strategic reserve is the greatest thing for that country's population. Free Ross Ulbricht. This is the greatest thing for this individual here, for a life, trapped in a cage. Fire Gary Gensler. I think that's good for everyone in every front. Make USA Bitcoin the mining hub. As an Australian, it's not great, but whatever country does that wins as well. Crickets from Kamala. It's been very quiet. She had a chance to embrace Bitcoin, said no thanks. It's unfortunate. It would have been nice if both sides went, even if they're saying exactly the same thing, they keep to their promises. We'll see. We'll see what promises are kept. This is great. We need Trump in the White House to get this done, which is pretty interesting because Bitcoin Magazine, nonpartisan think tank, BPI, nonpartisan. We need Trump to win. Releases report endorsing a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States, calling it digital gold. Very much is acting like a digital gold variant at the moment, not so much a currency. But Sailor chiming in, Bitcoin as a strategic reserve, the United States needs it. Every country around the world needs it. They need to add it to their balance sheet. We all do, more and more. But let's hit refresh. This was last stream, 69,518. We've come down a little bit, sitting just above 69,000 at $66. Pumped pretty high, this week. That Eric Balashunas showed us earlier, bang. But if we have a look at the high, 70,555, we're down $1,500 from that. But the low, $67,447. We're up, $2,000 from that, just under 1,500. 1,500 either way. We're sitting bang in the middle at $69,066. Eric chiming in, Eric Trump. Bitcoin is the future of finance, just like real estate. It's all about securing your asset and building wealth for generations to come. I completely agree. It is about securing your asset. When it's in cold storage, building your wealth for generations to come. Bitcoin's the only asset that can last for thousands of years and be passed on. Ron Paul. So Elon Musk is talking about bringing Ron Paul in. Ron Paul's a very interesting character. He wrote a book called End the Fed, I believe. Rail just believes the Fed should be shut down. The US should be on a gold standard. I'm not sure what his thoughts are in regards to Bitcoin. Got an interesting message. I'll play 30 seconds of it. I have reposted the full video for everyone at Sean Clark 911 this morning.
After I posted some encouragement on Musk's Twitter X, he responded that he would be happy to have me join him looking for places to cut. While the last thing I am looking for is another job, I am encouraged by the outpouring of support and happy to help any effort to correct the wrong path we have been going down.
Wrong path we have been going down. As the US is the world's global reserve currency, it affects everyone, including me here in Australia, at the tail end of the Great Barrier Reef. Hold on to that thought about cutting spending, because JP Morgan thinks the deficit under Trump's going to go up a hell of a lot higher than what it would under Kamala. I've got my own thoughts as well I'll chime in with. But JP Morgan sounds alarm on massive market shift tied to election results. JP Morgan warns of unprecedented economic shifts on the horizon as US election outcomes threaten to reshape tax policy, government, and market stability. JP Morgan sees an unprecedented changes brewing. Global investment bank JP Morgan released a report on Friday, highlighting the potential impacts of the US election on tax policy, government, debt, and market stability, offering guidance on how investors might approach the election period. Buy, stack, and chill. Stay calm. Stack sats is probably the best. But anyway, JP Morgan analysts, they explain that with key provisions of the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which is TCJA, set to expire in 25, Congress will likely revisit tax policy as failure to extend. These measures could raise taxes significantly, the report details. In all, if the temporary provisions in the TCJA expire, personal tax rates would revert higher, and it would result in a 1.8% reduction in after-tax income for all US households, as well as a 3.1% reduction for the top 1% of earners. Given the top 1% of earners pay more tax than most cohorts combined as well. Just an FYI. People are always hating on the rich. It sucks. Given this, JP Morgan expects that both parties might push for at least a partial extension of the TCJA. Through specifics would depend on the election's outcome. Good news, lower taxes for everyone, less government spending is better for everyone. So, talking about government spending, regardless of the national deficit, JP Morgan anticipates an increase under either candidate's proposal. I agree with that, with potential impacts on bond yields. The report described, if all of the policy proposals from the campaign trail become reality, which is unlikely, that's a fact, the deficit could increase by over $1 trillion over the next 10 years under Kamala Harris. So under Kamala, only 1 year, and by nearly $4 trillion under Donald Trump. Not quite sure if I agree with all of that. I would have thought it'd be the other way around, higher under Kamala than Donald Trump, especially if we get Ron Paul in there. If that was to happen, if Trump wins, JP Morgan's talking about potentially 2 weeks. But this is why it makes some sense that bond yields have increased along with the odds of a Republican sweep. This is hilarious. While debt concerns are evident, JP Morgan suggests that some fears may be overstated. The report explains, while we view the debt and deficit trajectory as a risk, we think some of the fear is misplaced. In fact, current all-in yields give investors a second bite of the apple. Check this out. For anyone who felt they missed the opportunity to add to core bonds, this may be your second chance. Please, 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 please let me know if you missed the opportunity to add to core bonds. That's your second chance, ladies and gentlemen, to add to core bonds. So what a fantastic opportunity presented by JP Morgan here for everyone on this grand and glorious day. JP Morgan also addressed the possibility of an extended contested election, noting it is difficult to say when we will know who won this election. It's possible we may not have a clear answer for a week or two. In the event of a close election, we would expect to see court challenges and other legal action through the end of the year. It is important to also note that the 22 Electoral Count Reform Act is meant to strengthen the mechanism that ensures a clear implementation of election results. However, the analysts advise investors equity, market volatility, tends to fall relatively quickly, which will affect Bitcoin as well after the new composition of government is confirmed. And on average, equities are high in 12 months after the election. Replace that with Bitcoin, same deal. Said differently, don't let an election derail your plans. Election outcomes don't drive market returns over the long run. That's true. Election outcomes don't drive market returns over the long run. It's not about trying to time the market, just spending time in this market. Joe Rogan coming out in favor of Trump, the great and powerful Elon Musk. If it wasn't for him, we'd be absolutely fucked. I threw in the word absolutely, but 100% we would be fucked. He makes what I think is the most compelling case for Trump you'll hear, and I agree with him every step of the way. For the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump. Enjoy the podcast. One message, one side's going to lose. And whether we find out globally today or it takes 1 to 2 weeks, all I ask is that you're nice to your friends, your family, your neighbors. I've seen these videos of people absolutely crying, distraught because their friends, their family are on the other side. It's fucking politics. None of these people are going to save anyone. All we can do is take 100% self-responsibility. And then in the meantime, be nice to our neighbors, our friends, our family. Imagine letting an election drive a wedge between friends and family. Don't do that, please. No, you do you, but it just seems insanity. It's just been a circus the whole time. Both sides, this is my thoughts. One side, many things are going to be a whole lot better, but it's going to come with a whole lot of baggage and a whole lot of shit. Under the other side, some things will be better, and it's going to come with a whole lot of baggage and a whole lot of shit. In the middle, there is us, caught between baggage and a whole lot of shit. All we can do is take 100% self-responsibility and be like, fuck, left or right, red versus blue. No, it's the government, and then there's you. There's us as the people, and we are stronger than them, and we can opt out of their broken monetary system that is literally designed to enslave us, to be able to control us. Like in Australia, this freaking crazy digital ID system, it's about to roll out in less than 4 weeks. Like Senator Katie here, Gallagher, has assured the public that the system will be secure and participation will be entirely voluntary. When did we hear that in the last 4 years? Entirely voluntary. It's not going to be coercive at all. Bullshit, I call on that. Individuals who opt out will still have an alternative method to access goods and services without using the digital ID. For how long is my question. Will you be opting in to use it? Fuck no, I will not. Sorry about my language, but this thing is freaking dystopian. Digital IDs come first, then we get central bank digital currencies. They're already working on 15-minute cities here in Australia. This is the mechanism of control that governments put through. It's nice to be able to see over in the States there have been bills against central bank digital currencies. These things are Orwellian as fuck. And they're coming. It's the government versus us people. We can opt out. There is a system that works, that is permissionless, that's uncensorable, unconfiscatable, and that is Bitcoin. You can opt out. If you've got it on the exchange, it's not real Bitcoin. It's not your Bitcoin until it's in the exchange. A self-custody wallet, air gaps, Bitcoin only is my preference. If you need help, the Bitcoin way, they're freaking masters. They're Jedi Knights when it comes to self-custody, cybersecurity, inheritance planning. This is the team. Tony used to work for Steve Jobs. 25 years of cybersecurity experience. Team guides you in mastering Bitcoin self-custody. I recommend these to my friends, my family. So many people have gone through. The team's absolutely incredible. But what's most important right now with this dystopian stuff going on is you can get a residency where your freedom is valued, where they have favorable tax laws. Everyone watching this, if you're here for long enough, your net worth is going to go up dramatically, and it doesn't even take that long, where your freedom is valued. But it looks like it's being taken away here in Australia. We'll continue to watch what happens. And I don't think it's going to get bad overnight. I'm not that pessimistic, and I'm actually very optimistic for the future because Bitcoin is this pushback against their pull towards slavery that's going on. We can just opt out. And when enough people opt out, then we have the power to be able to push back with it. And what Dennis Porter's doing with the regulations, that is needed. That is the language. Bitcoin has allowed someone like that to be able to put these, create papers which are peer-reviewed, evidence-informed, and they can give it to them. That's the language that these people in the government departments need for something to be able to be valid. Without Bitcoin, they'll probably be doing something else. But Bitcoin and Bitcoin is jumping on to allow those things. Bitcoin changes the world for the better in every way. In the meantime, if things do get crazy, so what do I say? I don't expect things like digital IDs, they come. Cool. Like, it's not going to get bad overnight. CBDCs, they're not going to be bad overnight. They're not just going to roll them out and then shut down everyone's bank account. I don't see that as happening. Like, that's worst case scenario. But when you've got absolute control, you're going to control absolutely. That's what I fundamentally believe these people, if they have the tools, the capacity, at some stage, maybe it's 15, 20 years away, they want to be able to pull and they want to be able to play with their toy. It's like they've been given a new Tonka truck for Christmas and they're sitting there in their sandpit. Anyway, let's get on. Bitcoin set for a post-election breakout, but flipping 70K to support its first hurdle. Sitting above 69,000 is a strong level. Sitting above 70,200 is even better. Let's just race through. Based on previous year, Bitcoin price years saw a breakout after the US presidential election, 2012, 16, 20. Are we going to get 4 ducks lined up in a row here? You know, up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right. What I took away from my conversation with Fred Krueger yesterday, if you haven't checked that out, do. And I would suggest subscribing. Tomorrow morning, I'm sitting down with Mark Moss for a podcast. I'll put out a little bit of a different video tomorrow. See how that goes, why I'm sitting down with him and recording that pod. But yesterday with Fred Krueger is talking about the power law. And what I absolutely hate and disgusts me about certain people with the power law is they push it as a freaking trading tool. I actually say that I like the power law because it's a model that shows Bitcoin goes up and to the right. When we have a look at Bitcoin's price chart, it shows it goes up and to the right. When we have a look at the stock to flow, it shows it goes up and to the right. All of these things, even just the price, this big green button, I think it's just a marketing tool. The fiat price really is irrelevant. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin. It's never anything else. And did you get to one Bitcoin? There's only going to be 1 million people in the world that hold one full Bitcoin. Did you join that club? And then what about 0.1 if you didn't get there? Or just 0.21? If you could get just to 0.21, absolutely amazing. You need to hold it for the long term. But when we look at these charts or any of these charts, pick any point and zoom out 4 years, it's always higher. Any chart over a 4-year period, I think less than 100%. That's what I'm here for. And that's what I liked about that conversation with Fred yesterday. It's like, it's not a trading tool. You look at it and then you extrapolate out 4 years, and that's where your mindset should be, over a 4-year time frame, not week to week, day to day. Anyway, other analysts expect the post-election volatility to lead to a Bitcoin breakout to all new time highs. Well, post, yeah, of course. We are coming for all-time highs. We're going to take it out. Notably, Bitfinex analysts predict a Bitcoin rally to 80K before the end of 2025. My prediction, based on absolutely nothing, is we'll be somewhere between like 85 and 110, or 80 to 110. You know, it's a wide range, higher than where we are now, failing a black swan event. Options markets, and Bitcoin just doesn't care long term who wins. Option markets position indicate that over the past few weeks, end-of-year options have seen a significant rise in call interest. December 27 expiry calls with an 80K strike price primary area of interest. Other analysts suggest that Bitcoin is used as a proxy for a potential Trump victory, and that this current Trump hedge rally is lacking the fundamental macroeconomic conditions to result in an all-time high for Bitcoin. Maybe, maybe not. It'll be interesting to see when we get results, what happens to Bitcoin's price in the short term. Doesn't matter. Yes and no. It's a marketing tool. The higher the price is, the more people hear about it, and then that we just need to get them to understand it, to be able to read the books and hold on for dear life for at least 4 years. And I think by that time, they understand enough to know that Bitcoin is the money. It's not about getting rich quick, although that happens. It's about holding on to true wealth, personal power. Exchange rate, 69,388. So it's volatile, it's moving, only in the hundreds of dollars though. I sort of would have thought it would have been higher over the last week. I was sort of hoping for a $10,000 day either way. Just bring it back in. Let's get the excitement going. But sats per USD, 1,441. Is that called a palindrome, where it's like the same either way? Anyway, that's a pretty bloody good deal. Earlier when I went live, it was 1,444, exactly the same as the other day. Market cap, same, 1.37 trillion. The fee rate's gone up a tiny little bit since half an hour ago when I first went live, but it's still bloody cheap. And what I said in the last stream in regards to UTXOs, if you've been DCAing, doing the right thing, going from exchange to your wallet, exchange to the wallet, exchange to the wallet, whether that's like just over weeks or months or years, but you've got all these UTXOs. It's not Bitcoin combined. Whereas if you're, for example, I don't suggest it, DCA on the app, and then say get to 1 Bitcoin, and then you send that, then you've got 1 UTXO of 1 Bitcoin. But say you're buying 0.1 Bitcoin, you did that 10 times, but each time you kept going to your wallet, now you've got 10 UTXOs in your wallet. When you go to spend that, if you need to spend 0.2 Bitcoin, it's going to like draw them together, and it's going to cost you more in fees. We are going to get to a point on Bitcoin's time chain where small DCAs are going to be literally impossible to spend, or so exorbitantly expensive you can't do it. And that's probably a couple of years away. Better to make the opportunity of that time now, is my belief, for sure, 100%. While there's like even 3, that's still so bloody cheap. And if you need help, reach out to the Bitcoin Way, but just do it. There's so many tutorials online, please. Semler Scientific is absolutely pumping up 25%. They announced yesterday they'd increased their Bitcoin holdings to 1,058 Bitcoin. It's a cheat code for businesses, for companies, for corporations, for individuals, for nation states. Bitcoin on the balance sheet, a strategic reserve asset, personally, professionally, for countries. Look at it, up and to the right. Doesn't that look sweet? Now, what to expect on crypto policies depending on the US election outcomes. Neither of them are going to be great or that bad. You know, it'll be what it'll be. It's going to be better under one than under the other. But we've got no, if voting's closed, we've got no control left. Now, depending on which political party controls the House and Senate, Fit 21 and other crypto-related legislation may or may not be prioritized. We shall see. While Republicans had a slim majority in the House for 23, the Congress was also among the least productive in US history. However, lawmakers passed the Fit 21 Act, the CBDC Anti-Surveillance State Act, and the Financial Tech Protection Act of 23. The Senate, Democrats currently control the Senate, 51-49 majority, but 34 seats are up for grabs on November 5th. Which party controls the Senate controls committee leadership? and the legislative agenda, whether hearings focus on illicit users of digital assets or the benefits of technology. Like, it isn't just that saying within itself like a little bit fucked up. If the Senate is sitting down, shouldn't they just talk about both sides? Yes, digital currencies get used for illicit stuff, but the benefits far outweigh it. And it's nothing compared to what fiat currency is. But instead of just closing down one side of the conversation, can't we just like open up discourse and have a freaking proper conversation? Like, hey, like this stuff is going on. It's not good. Let's talk about that. This stuff's absolutely amazing. Let's talk about it instead of just focusing totally on one thing that doesn't serve anyone. And, you know, we see that polarity over, especially the last couple of months with the election. You know, that's why I just ask everyone, please be nice, especially to the side that loses. They're going to be in a world of hurt, whatever side that is. But don't let the government become between you, your friends, your family. It's just not worth it. Opt out, buy Bitcoin. It's bipartisan. It really doesn't give a flying F. Long term, short term, yeah, sure. In Texas, where Bitcoin mining companies are located, Democratic Representative Aldridge seeks to unseat incumbent Ted Cruz in the US Senate. Many industry advocates, including the Texas Blockchain Council, supported Cruz for his unapologetically pro-crypto stance. Other close races could help flip the Senate to Republicans between John Tester and Tim Sheehy in Montana, but several possible outcomes could benefit the industry. As I said in the last stream, I absolutely love Senator Elizabeth Warren. She's my favorite. Oh, and she's favored to keep her seat in response to a challenge by Republican candidate and Ripple lawyer John Deaton. Oh, Senator Warren. She's favored. I favor Senator Elizabeth Warren. Just what a remarkably outstanding piece of shit. Anyway, if Kamala Harris wins the presidency and Democrats lose a seat, they would keep control of the Senate with prospective Vice President Tim Walz voting as the tiebreaker. Democratic Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said in August one of his goals was to pass bipartisan. Now he's talking pro-crypto legislation before 25, suggesting that a Harris presidency might adopt a similar stance. Both sides for humanity, for your country's citizens need to adopt Bitcoin. Australia needs to adopt Bitcoin. Every freaking country around the world. It's game theory, and El Salvador is winning at the minute. Same with Bhutan. Bhutan's freaking winning. Insane what Bhutan's done. But Donald Trump, he's made several promises to crypto users in 2024. Let's see if he keeps them. Let's hope that he keeps them. Let's hope both sides keep their promises. You know, judging by history, neither side has. You know, when it comes to presidential elections or the prime minister or senators here in Australia, they all talk a whole lot of shit, tell you what you want to hear, and then they get them and they do fuck all. We'll see. You know, there's more of a chance. But including firing Gensler, I want to see that happen. Opposing the creation of a central bank digital currency, imperative for the freedom of humanity. Commuting the sentence to Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht. Just make that happen. Let's free this life that's been stuck in a little cage year after year after year. And having all Bitcoin made in the USA. I do not want that, please. Let's all start running BitAxes and decentralized Bitcoin mining. Whoever takes control of the Bitcoin mining, you know, wins. Vice President Harris, who only joined the presidential race in July, hasn't made digital assets a central part of her campaign like Trump, but has said she'd support the industry if elected. Fucking support him now. You've got this, she had this amazing chance. It's like run out. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but didn't. I don't know. I just don't have hope for either side. I think under one, it'll be much better, but they both come with that baggage and that shit. You've got to be very careful to the Democrats. And I'll stop interjecting. I know I'm here in Australia. I'm so far removed. The US is the world reserve currency. When you print money, flood the world with liquidity, it affects us. Our Australian Pacific peso is worth absolutely fuck all. It's totally worthless. The more money the US prints, the faster it deteriorates. And we're so closely tied. It does make a big difference over here. Unfortunately, politicians, politics, the government are trying to control every aspect of society. We've got an opportunity to be able to opt out. But yes, I am more more favored. I do look forward to the circus ending, and then we just find out the facts and we can move forward with a known entity. But you've got to be very careful of the Democrats. If Trump's pro-crypto, Trump's former White House communication director Scaramucci said in an interview with Saxo there could be lots of Democrats that are against it just because Trump is for it, which is freaking insane. So I'd like to see this calm down. Me too. I think we have to depoliticize our regulatory decisions and make them more about right or wrong as opposed to left or right. 100% agree. That's open conversation. Look at both sides of the argument, have proper discourse. I know I'm so wrong about so many things, especially my wife does an amazing job of pushing back, asking where do you get that information? What's the source? Did you triangulate your data? And on some of those major issues, I hadn't, and pushes me to be a better person. That's what discourse does. So many people in the community, I'm so grateful. I get things wrong, or I got my own opinion. You've got your own opinion. And you'll know what the truth is on the matter, or we can have discussion in the comment section and move towards that. It's absolutely amazing. We're not perfect, flawless human beings. That's not the point of life. The point of life is to Kaizen, for continuous improvement, to be able to fail forward. But anyway, there could be lots of Democrats that are against it because Trump. Let's focus on the truth here. And then we have this is awesome. This is just so awesome. I've reposted it. Ben Sigmund, version 2 of Bitcoin 101 cheat sheet, updated based on some feedback and fixed some typos. Bitcoin 101, get started. He lists the 3 steps. You know my 3 steps. You've been joined for a while. Buy, stack, and chill. It's super easy, but said another way. Number 1, get a secure Bitcoin wallet, buy Bitcoin on an exchange, transfer your Bitcoin to wallet for safekeeping, and then just freaking relax. Get some sun, steak, sex. Just have a freaking amazing time. Get some sweat. Anonymous creator. These are just fun facts. Satoshi vanished 2011. The 10,000 pizzas born in 2010 are worth about 600 million. 1 sat. Bitcoin's smallest unit is 0.000000001 BTC. Space nodes. I like that word. Space nodes. Bitcoin can even be confirmed from space thanks to Blockstream satellites. Absolutely amazing. Check it out. I've reposted it. That's news. Going to dive into a little bit of a banter this morning. What a day, hey? What a freaking interesting day. That's for sure. Both sides. It's going to be interesting. It's really going to be interesting. I wonder how soon we know. And then the market's got a bit of certainty. It's pricing in one person over another at the minute. So we'll see. The betting markets. So are the betting markets at the moment. And usually, when people are invested, money talks, bullshit walks. Maybe the markets know what's up. We'll see. What frickin' black swan event comes out from either side. Earthbum, either side's gonna frickin' hate the answer for sure. Earthbum, good to see you this morning. VT Gothic in the house. Tune in from Vermont. VT Gothic, I've said it before, I absolutely love Vermont. What a freaking amazing special place in the world. We went there literally to look at leaves. We spend a lot of our holidays going to look at leaves or go out to the reef or something, but spend time in nature. Vermont is freaking amazing. Like the yellow trees with like the little round leaves, we just call them rubber ducky trees because they're so freaking yellow. Anyway, amazing. VT Gothic voted Orange Man for the orange coin. What I'd be really interested in is, are there people from both sides, like left and right, or voting for left and right? Like we're just people stuck in the middle. That's the way I see it. It's us versus the government. One's more favorable than the other. Both have nonsense going on, like baggage that comes with them. But are there people from both camps in the chat, or have we leaned a little bit too far as a community to both sides? So it's nice to have that open discourse, and I look forward to getting past this and we can just focus on what truly matters, which is the separation of money from state. I need to credit Nico Moran for that one. That's what we're here for. If you're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom. He just nailed it with those 2 quotes. I voted for Trump, the GOAT, of course. G'day, Sean. Good morning. You had an awesome chat with Fred yesterday. Let's see how Trump goes today. Yeah, it's the markets are definitely thinking Trump and Fred. You know, I don't agree with Fred on a lot, but the guy's a math genius, crazy smart. So maybe a lot of that's unfounded. But what I like is talking to people that I disagree with, to be able to open up my mind, to expand my thoughts. And that's what I really gained yesterday. And what I just loved about Fred is so open and honest about the power law. It's not for trade. You just look at it and you use it as an indication where we're going to be in 4-year timeframes. Like, that's the best information, the most truthful information that's come out in regards to any of these laws. They're just a fucking marketing tool. They come in, excuse my language, but it's up and to the right. Whatever it is, it's up and to the right. Look at it. Don't use it to trade, especially short term. Retro Beaver, Orange Man good, Trump wins, buy 1 million. And then another thing Fred was talking about is just peeling off Satoshis. Fred could peel off so many freaking Bitcoin and still have more Bitcoin than probably all of us combined. So he's coming from a different perspective, a different level. He's playing a different game. And just keep that in mind, like when you're listening to these insane geniuses, that they are in a different ball camp. Like Michael Saylor's strategy is very different to the everyday person. But what we can take away is all these people, millionaires, billionaires, the financial elite, they're just stacking stats. Countries are stacking stats. That's the signal. Jake Thomas, fly over USA. Good to see you, brother. Retro Beaver, I think I read that one out. Orange Man, good. Phil, good to see you. Trump wins, buys 1 million Bitcoin for a strategic reserve, and Bitcoin arms race drives it to 2 million in 2025. If he was to buy 1 million, yeah, I think that's a pretty likely scenario. What I believe is most likely is the Bitcoin that they have on the balance sheet, and I'm not quite sure how much is left that they've seized. They just hold on to that as the strategic reserve asset. They put out favorable regulation in regards to mining, but there's a tax on it in whatever way. Like if you want to mine Bitcoin here, we get 5%, 3%, whatever, and then they use that to add to the treasury instead of going out and spending or printing more money. But whoever prints the most amount of money to acquire the most amount of Bitcoin at the end of the day wins. Bitcoin is eventually going express to the moon, regards to the fake president nutshell game. Ricardo, completely agree. Lincoln may have freed the slaves, but Trump is going to free the world with Bitcoin. Maybe, maybe not. I just don't have any faith in any politician that they're going to free people. Yes, it's going to be better under one than the other, but the only way our lives are going to be better is when we're just like, fuck them. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. That's what I truly believe in. It's where I've gotten to where I am in life by taking 100% self-responsibility. There was a time in my life where I didn't take responsibility. I drowned myself out. I wouldn't look at my dark side. I wouldn't look at my fears. I wouldn't do what is hard. I just wanted to do the easy things. And my life was all fucked up. And when I just made that decision, be like, 100%, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. When I truly ingrained that, and then I found a clear focus purpose and worked consistently towards that and did the hard things, that's what changed for me. It wasn't the Prime Minister here in Australia. It wasn't when Trump was in there last time. It wasn't under Biden this time. None of them fucking helped me. And I don't think they're going to help anyone else either. I think it's only us. That's what I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this time is different, but fuck, they're dangerous words. Larry Fink is the real president. Larry Fink is the person that controls the world. You know, the largest company with assets under management in the world. Larry Fink is one hell of a powerful person. They call him up and be like, hey, we need help. That's the person that's on speed dial. I agree. I don't think he's the real president, but I think he's one of the people that control the world, or a lot of aspects around the world. Like Bitcoin, vote for freedom and not for control. Like Bitcoin, stack Bitcoin and opt out and take control. Mike D, Gary Gensler sat at home shaking like a sniffing dog right now. Yeah, it'll be interesting, that interview with him. I was talking to Fred backstage yesterday and saying, you know, Gary Gensler, he said one thing, but we did get the ETFs and stuff. Maybe he's been not as bad as we thought. And Fred's like, no, give this man no credit. He's been, I won't say what he said, but like, yeah, all right, Fred, you agree. The dude's been bloody annoying Is it going to get any better? I don't know. It's the government. So actually, I take that back. There are some things that the government do extremely well, like absolutely amazing. And I am stuck in Australia. I'm not stuck here, but I live here in Australia. I choose to. The Great Barrier Reef's literally right out there. And it's an amazing place, amazing people. The government, for like everything that they do wrong, and like that list is freaking, like, it's huge. It's absolutely freaking massive. But they do get some things right. And while I pay my taxes, the roads, meh, I don't know. Like, put the roads aside. But the hospitals, the healthcare service, when I cut with an angle grinder a spray paint and 3 weeks ago, and it fucking exploded into my face and burnt my eyes, 1st and 2nd degree burns on my arms. You know, and then to finish cooking my steak, and then I went to the hospital. But 1st and 2nd degree burns, going straight to the hospital, getting proper care, eating a healthy diet. You can't even tell there was 1st and 2nd degree burns 3 weeks and 3 days ago. Sunday, 3 weeks ago. I am so grateful for the care that I got, and I'm happy to be able to pay taxes for things like that. So when it comes to healthcare, hospital services, you know, there's public health. As just like the main hospital. I just went in there and they're absolutely amazing. It didn't cost me a cent. Obviously, it costs in tax dollars, but if I'm paying tax to have those services there, absolutely grateful for. You know, push back on the government. I'm not even for no government. Just smaller government would be nice. It just keeps expanding. That's the real problem. That's the insidious infection, the virus. Hey, Sean, hope you're good. Freaking amazing. I'd like Bitcoin to come down a little bit more, but it's all good. It's all gravy. It's so cheap, under 100K. It's like turning $70 or $100 into 1,000 by the time Bitcoin hits 1 million. Does it matter? 70, 100 if you get 1,000? Nah, not at all. And then by that time, you're like, oh, Bitcoin's the money. It's really like the fiat numbers are relevant. But yeah, it's a freaking good day. We're here and it's interesting. It's an interesting day. I look forward to just knowing what's going on and then moving forward, though. That's for sure. 100 Air, g'day from sunny Alabama. I've never been to Alabama yet, but I've met a few people. It's sunny here, but raining red votes. I'm from Toowoomba, but working near Newcastle right now. I was trying to get down to Sydney and meet with you when you were there recently. Darren, probably be in Newcastle later on this year or early next year. We're running out of time. Hopefully I've got no more travel for the end of the year, but I will be in Sydney again for Bitcoin Alive, which is in March, I believe, next year. So if you are there, I will be at that. And people that rail against Bitcoin conferences, if you're like stacking hard, I get it. Like, don't go. If you're still like in that crazy stacking mode, especially if you're here early or like you haven't been here for long, I get it. Like, my opinion, and it's your money, it's your choice. Do whatever the hell you want. But if you can go as hard as you possibly can for like a 4-year time period, it'll just free the rest of your life up to be able to make decisions that you want to do, because you've got that capital behind you to be able to back yourself. But once you've done that, these events, these conferences, they're high-level networking. Like, you're interacting with Bitcoiners. I will never, ever go into business with someone, again, that is not a Bitcoiner. Bitcoiners are just simply the best people, or the Bitcoin mindset. If people are on a Bitcoin standard, or you're talking to someone and you know with a little bit of time they will get Bitcoin, they'll grok Bitcoin. But when you go to a Bitcoin conference, like, you've already got that solid foundation. You've got common areas of interest, but everyone's got their own expertise or their own niche, and you go there and you interact. And again, it's like when I was talking to Fred, your brain expands. We don't need to agree on everything. And I don't want to be in a room where I agree with everything, but I want to have like a mutual respect and understanding. That's what I find that you get at Bitcoin conferences. Amazing. I literally sit down with Preston Pish, Mark Moss. Mark Moss is coming on again tomorrow. Peter McCormack, Peter Dunworth, Michael Dunworth, Dasby, Piers, Checkmate. Like, the list just goes on and on and on. And then for all the subscribers, the community members that I met, out of respect, I won't dox you. That's not fair. If you're there and we said g'day, like, you can let the chat know if you want to, but I don't suggest doing that. But those events, you get to meet the community. Absolutely amazing. So hopefully, Darren, you're there at Bitcoin Alive. Paris equals censorship? Yeah, more likely. This tyrannical Canadian government is working on digital ID. Everyone is. Everyone is. They're trying to sneak it in behind the scenes. It's crazy. It is so dystopian. It's Orwellian. There's no safeguards for the general public. If you can say no, like we've failed here in Australia with the digital ID. It's a tragedy. I almost cried. I didn't quite, but I put out a video that day and you could see how freaking disturbed it made me. They're not good. They are not good. That's why you need to have a second passport. If they're working on digital ID, look at getting a second passport. Talk to Tony and the team. It's not expensive and it could save you. G'day legends, Trump regardless. Emil, good to see you. Shane in the house. This Bitcoin reserve confused me. How would it work? It sounds like a longer term pump and dump. If the US remains, they just buy, like, same as having gold in Fort Knox. I do not think they will back the dollar by gold. Like they'd need to get $1 million Bitcoin behind them, I think, to do that. It's just about having the world's hardest scarcest asset in reserves, economic purchasing power. Everyone's going for Trump, but like both sides, please just be nice. All of it's a shit show, really. Like they're both calling names at each other. They're both misinterpreting what the other person says. The program and propaganda. I look forward to it ending. Yes, it's going to be better for many things for Bitcoin under one side. There's still a whole lot of baggage. On the other side, some things are going to be much better for people, for individuals, for companies, for corporations, and there's still a lot of baggage. But we're almost at the end. Fingers crossed Trump doesn't get cheated and Bitcoin freedom prevails. It'll be interesting to see what plays out, over the coming hours even. Jokers to the left of me, clowns to the right, and here I am stuck in the middle with you. Left, New World Order, right, Zionist. G'day, Knox, Bill. You are. That's a pretty cool name. You are. Shane, the media makes out like it's a neck and neck poll. Yeah, prior to the election, every poll I saw was awash with people in the Trump camp and very few in the Harris camp. Seems weird to me. I was also thinking about this last night. Is it where we get our information from? For me, obviously, I spend a lot of time on X, and X has a very right-leaning bias. I'm aware of that. I know it. I try to seek out both sides more and more through different news sources. But predominantly, I'm spending most of the time on X, right-wing bias. So we're seeing things that are pro-Trump on that side. Is the mainstream media, like are the polls and stuff they putting out favouring Kamala, or were they? And is it just where our perspective is being distorted from the agenda of both sides? That's the way that I think is happening. When I see those polls, I'm like, cool, like they're just trying to feed me dopamine and we live in an echo chamber. It's what I want to see, or it's not what I want to see, and they feed us exactly that. It's so hard now with AI and just the amount of information served at us. But yeah, I definitely think it is favouring one than the other. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what games are played. Bitcoin gives everyone true hope. 100%. For me, everyone I've talked to that's been here for a while, it is the ticket to freedom. For every single dream, you can't just be like, oh, I dreamed it. Now it's going to happen. Like, fuck, the world doesn't work like that. But everything that exists here, like the TV, the phone you're watching on the computer, whatever it is, the aeroplane, the car, all of these start with a thought, an idea, or a dream. But when we can put like a purpose and passion behind it and a focused plan, we can achieve our dreams. And I think Bitcoin's that cheat code to be able to rapidly move towards that. And then when you like truly understand the Bitcoin standard, it's on truth, it's 21 million, it's hard cap, spend less than you earn, and, change your time perspective. When you bring all those together and then you're saving in Bitcoin, like everything just rapidly progresses. I think it is the cheat code to life. I don't agree with Fred on the question about low. Yeah, Shane, I should have dived into that. We're running out of time. I had a meeting, crazy meetings yesterday, amazing meetings yesterday. So I had to run, and I'm glad I did, but I need to get Fred back on because, yes, I don't agree really with that explanation much either. And this morning I was looking at some fair value posts in regards to Bitcoin and stuff, and they're saying like the fair value is at like 66,000, and Fred was saying it's what, like at 84,000 or whatever. But 66 to 84, even say it was 66 to 86,000, $20,000 difference. Really, like over time, it's not much of a difference, really. But anyway, let me read your comment, Shane. I don't agree with Fred on the question about low fair value versus high mining costs. Of course, mining reflects on the fiat price. The cycle so far have been tied to the 4-year cycle, but thanks, Sean. Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I need I wonder, Rob from Riot, maybe I need to bring him back on. He's like right deep down in the weeds. So I put out a podcast with him, I don't know, it would have been a year ago or more now. Really interesting character. But we were talking about price rate, and I've talked to a couple of guests about it. Does price follow hash rate or does hash rate follow price? So they sort of work in lockstep. But when miners get to a point where they're unprofitable and they don't think they can do it for much longer, they just switch off. Like it's self-balancing. But as the price goes up, more and more people are incentivized to get faster rigs, more efficient rigs. And then the hash rate goes up, and then the price needs to catch up to be able to keep those people profitable. And that's why we have like this. It keeps going up. And, talking to Michael Dunworth, I'll get him on the show when we're talking in Sydney. It's like, yeah, it's just going to go to infinity and beyond. It's going up literally forever. But yeah, Shane or community, who would you suggest would be the best guest to talk to about hash versus price, hash rate versus price? Polls close 7 p.m. Eastern, an hour from now. Then the reports on counts get going. Fuck. It's going to be exciting. I just urge everyone, please be nice, especially to the side that loses. When you're on the winning side, it's easy to get jubilant and joyful and then not stay humble, and like don't go out there, don't start kicking people, rioting and stuff. Please just be nice. We're just humans. There's just, to me, there's one race that's a human race. There's a whole lot of individuals with different ideas and stuff, but we're just people. We're all here together. 7 p.m. Eastern. That must be what's the time Eastern Standard Time now? I'd say it'd be 7 p.m., isn't it? Like on the dot. I need to get to the gym. That's the last poll. That's it. Let's go. Trump, the Obama, Biden, Harris administration has never done anything positive for crypto. Depends how you look at it, if the ETFs are good or bad. I sort of see them as good because Bitcoin's their Trojan horse to be able to change the system. They don't really know what they unleash. But voted today, Orange Man, Orange Coin, settling in to watch the elections. Let's see if he keeps his promises. Yeah, whoever gets in, let's just see if they keep their promises. Judging by history, hasn't happened, but we'll see. RFK wants Bitcoin as the new national reserve currency. How awesome would that be? It'd be freaking amazing, but I don't see that happening under Trump as the new national reserve currency. Strategic reserve, yes, but as the national currency, no. USA buying 500 Bitcoins a day for the next 20 years, doing this Michael Saylor playbook. Will we know who wins the election today? It's currently 6 p.m. I don't know. JP Morgan saying it could take 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah, at the latest may take a couple of days. I don't know. I don't know how they play out. I'm here in Australia. You're probably more of an authority on that one than me, but it'll be interesting to see. New York for freedom, 6:06 p.m. On that note, I'm literally going to race to the gym, but please just be kind. And then takeaway today, if Kamala gets in, we may get a short-term correction. It's an opportunity to be able to stack sats. If Trump gets in and Bitcoin pumps, this is probably an opportunity to be able to stack sats. 69, nothing like a nice 69 on a grand and glorious day. Because today somebody is going to get fucked. One side is going to get fucked. It's going to happen. Please go out there, be nice to them, and then just takeaways. Just get as much Bitcoin as you possibly can for as long as you can. Because regardless, long term, it's going up and to the right. That's me. Be blessed. Peace.
Everything seemed normal. Successful businesses were functioning as they usually should. Money was being placed in the bank as savings. Life was good. Nobody notices anything funny. But 2008 hits and all hell breaks loose. Everything we thought about money and the banking was a complete lie, a complete sham, a Ponzi, a scam. The whole world fell apart and a lot of people got hurt financially. And as a result of this, the Bitcoin white paper was born. But yet the same mistakes keep happening over and over again. People are leaving money on their institutions up until the last straw, FTX, when billions of dollars were lost, families were decimated, life savings were completely wiped, and people were wondering what on earth just happened. We have an option to take full custody of our funds, and that's Bitcoin. We just have to learn the process. It's not hard. It's just something we've never had to do before. Otherwise, the same mistakes are going to keep repeating themselves, and people are going to continue to get hurt over and over and over until they learn you need to exit the system in order to protect yourselves.